as well. And I was just thinking about this counting of the Omer, and I sent you a message, and I felt like I really felt this energy that you just described, and it is beautiful. So I wish to listen from you about this. I have some ideas, but I wish to listen from you.
Omer, it means basically kesher. Kesher is connection. Omer, what is Omer? Omer is that when you walk in the field and there's like sheaf, like any kinds of sheaf, might be wheat or barley or anything that grows in the field, and you put or unite few sheaves together into one bundle. One bundle of sheaf is Omer. When you bundle few sheaves together, in English we say one bundle, but in Hebrew it's Omer. Omer. So in English, if you have few bundles, let's say you say 4 bundles of sheaf, 5 bundles of sheaf, in Hebrew you say Arba'a Omarim. 4 Omarim. Omer is singular, Omarim are plural. 4 Omarim, it means like 4 bundles or 4 connections. So now, today, as you mentioned in this letter, we are starting to count the Omer. Omer, again, is not just a bundle of sheaves together, it is also a connection. Meaning, because when you bundle things together there is unity. So today is the first of the Omer, and we are counting 49 Omarim, like bundles together. And then at the 50th day, there is another holiday. So we are counting basically 7 weeks. 7 weeks from Passover until Matan Torah, or Shavuot, or Bikurim. This is the 7 weeks that we are counting. There's a Passover, and then there's a Shabbat holiday which is connected to Passover. And then comes the first day. This is today. So today is first of the Omer. And the counting is grace in grace. Chesed shebechesed. The first of the Omer is always Chesed shebechesed. Because we are starting at the sphere of grace. And then we cycle through or descending until Malchut. When Malchut of Malchut is basically the next holiday. Is it clear, Fernando? Would you like to say something to ask? Rodrigo, Yanis, Abigail, please feel free to ask about anything. Why do we count 49 days? What happens? Try to connect to what Weinreb says. You can unmute and speak if you wish. Why do we count 49? What happens in 49? Or in 7 times 7 as a concept? What happens?
As a concept, Jubilee.
Yes, yes, yes. It's basically moving from world to world. Yes? Whenever we count 49 or 7 weeks, there's a movement between world to world. Is this understood, the movement between world to world?
Yes.
Yes. What have you been reading, Fernando, regarding the Omer?
I was not reading, I was just thinking about. And because it's interesting, what I felt is that each year is different, because we change.
It's
right?
true. It is so true. It is so true. Yes. Yes.
And this is interesting, Eti, because today, I was thinking what was passing, let's say, the thoughts that were visiting me, that they are
Yes.
not mine.
Yes.
But the idea is that sometimes when we read about the counting of the Omer till Shavuot, today starts the counting, so people make a scheme of the tree, put in the 7 lower spheres times 7, like you said. So today would be Hesed from Hesed, right? This
True.
is the let's say the energy that is floating, and I believe that it is. But if you read it, sometimes people use it as an instrument,
Mhm.
like a tool, or like a way to, I don't know, what can I say, like to way to use this energy, use it. But today I was thinking that the epistemologic approach, let's say the mindset to approach it, is not about a tool. It's not about approaching to it as an object, but just to feel it, just to be in relation with it. Um, because as you are in relation, and this is the beautiful thing that I was thinking, that all these 49 energies, let's say, are one. They are not different one from each other. All of them comes from from the nothingness. So in fact, when you engage with this energy transforms itself all the time. It's not fixed. And you need to be transformed as well. Otherwise, you are not in connection with it. So what I was thinking it is that, in fact, you do not need to think about which Sephirah is the day. You just need to observe, let's say, to be in connection, because it changes. One day you are happy, in another day you are not so happy, but everything is divine.
It is true. It is true. Until you wrote it, that today is the first of the Omer counting, I did not think about it. I just felt it. This like blue, I don't know, crystal energy, because this is how everything is felt. There's a change in the way people walk and talk and appear in the shore, or not parking next to the shore. It is felt in the air. It's very thin. And I did not think about it. Like you say, when you're thinking about it, it's already a concept. But it's just to feel. If you feel it, it's already. This is the connection, because you feel it. And by letting it park or nest inside, this is a transforming experience. So all of those countings are just later addition. It's also something quite interesting, because usually we think about 4 seasons, and we can divide 365 to 4, and we get a number or so, and we can, let's say, open a scheme of a calendar of weeks, because it's very accurate. But what the counting of the Omer in a way brings forth, that it's not so rigid, the seasons, because what do we usually do? We look at the 365, we say divided by 4, this is 91, like 4 seasons, each one has 91 days, this is 364 plus a quarter, and this is the year. This is how people look at it when they cut it into four, like a pizza. Cut it into four. This is very rigid. And there, so to speak, there's a four season. But the counting of the Omer says something completely different. Let's say when Moses speaks to them, he says, today is the first month to you, Nisan, from spring you're counting. So 1st of Nisan, and then at the 14th of Nisan, the mid-Nisan, there's Passover, and from Passover we count 7 weeks, and this is the beginning of the summer. So in a way, it's not that rigid. The transformation in a way goes not in a linear way, but through this 7 times 7. So there's a movement between world to world, from the world of slavery to freedom. There's a journey, and it is because this is what the common thinking of the Exodus. Okay, the slaves left Egypt, but still are they, or are we, ready to receive this freedom? And there is a voyage, yes, of 7 weeks that is transformative. It is beautiful. Because we are not doing anything, like you said before. Our thoughts are not our thoughts. And we are being led. I felt today, because it is so cold, very, very cold, the ability to move is very limited because of the weather conditions. So when something happens, it happens from the infinite. There's suddenly a bit of energy to move, so you move, and we don't move from the brain or from the mind so much. It is being moved through us, and what happens is what happens. And it's very, in those days, it's very easy to notice, maybe more than any other day, it's very easy to notice that we are not the doers. Because in a way, what happens through the year long, that we plan, yes, we plan what to buy in the supermarket, we plan as much as possible the meals of what to buy or what we want, or how is the week flow. But I noticed that it's very, very distinct, that there is no plan in the head for anything. There is no build-up for this will happen. There is no schedule forward. And what happens in the moment. And it is very, very, very distinctly happening every moment, because you cannot just shoot yourself into, okay, there's a thought and you're running over the thought. It just doesn't happen. You feel that you are being carried in a way. That the body is being carried somehow. The spirit is there all the time, but there's another thing going on completely. Because there isn't, in a way, it's funny, it's like in the war, because what happens in the war, that the ability to think is really limited, and you're just being in the moment, because there's all the time danger and threat, and there is no selfing, there's no thinking that I am the thinking, I'm the thinker, I'm the doer, because all the time you have to watch, there's a danger. At the moment there is no danger of a war. They're always like trying to hit and shooting from all over the place. It's something else. It's a different sequence. But we are not the thinkers, and we are not the doers. You see, I mean, I could see yesterday it was so cold that the only thing I could was to maybe read 2 lines and see a little movie. This is the only thing I can do, because it's so cold and you could not move. So it doesn't matter what we want or what we think. What happens in the moment happens, and it comes from the infinite, and it moves through us. And there was a beautiful happening today at the bay. There was a little child, little 8 or 10. He was running with short pants. It's very cold today, like Arctic. And he opened his arms like he's an airplane, running like an airplane. And he was running and say to everyone, "Why don't you enjoy the cold wind?" And Anders said, "Look, he's the speaker of everybody's just wrapping themselves not to be hit by the cold wind." And there was a child wearing short pants and short t-shirt, running with his arms like an airplane, and say, "Why aren't you enjoying the cold wind?" So, Rodrigo?
Hello, Eti, can you hear me?
I can. Yes. What would you like to say, Rodrigo? Can you hear Rodrigo? Johannes, Fernando, Abigail, can you hear him? It seems that the voice is not... Yes?
Can you hear me?
Now we
Hello?
can. Now we
Yes?
can. Now we can. Yes, now
Okay.
can. Yes.
Thank you. Eti, I just want to put some ideas on the table. This word that Omer, that Fernando bring to us, it's interesting that the word Omer is written with the letter Ein, right?
Yes, right.
But there is the word Omer with Aleph, which means to speak or to say or something like that.
Yes.
Yes, Amar or Omer, Vayomer.
Yes.
Yes.
Vayomer, yes.
Yes, this change of a single letter, it's interesting, especially when the letter Ein is replaced by Aleph, as in the word or, for example, or is light with Aleph and is skin with Ein, right?
True.
So
Yes.
there are words that, how can I say, that have almost the same sound.
Yes, Rodrigo. At the moment, there is no connection, Rodrigo. Rodrigo, can you hear us? That's right. Yeah. He will try again. Yes, Rodrigo was bringing this example of changing of letters between Aleph and Ain. Omer, a bundle of sheaves, is written with Ain, when Omer be'Aleph, with the letter Aleph, is saying. Like it's written in the Bible, Vayomer Elohim, and God said. Omer, saying, is with Aleph, and bundle of sheaves, connection, Omer with Ain. Yes, Rodrigo, can you please continue? Yes, in a brief.
Sorry, Eti, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can. Can hear you. Yes.
Yes, I don't know if you listen all of my when I speak. I lost my connection. I believe I don't know if you listen me all my.
Yes,
all my
you brought. Yes, I can repeat. You brought two examples. One of them is Omer, written with the letter Ain. When Omer with the letter Aleph, it means saying. And the
Yes.
other example, yes, was
Yeah.
Or, which means light in Aleph, and Or with Ain means skin. Yes.
Yes. So what I saying that if there is a relation between these words, because the pronunciation is almost the same sound, but the meaning of the words completely change when we replace the letter Ein for the Aleph. and vice versa. But to me, it seems that there is a relationship between these words. I don't know if you could talk about this relation between these words when they are written with the letter Aleph, when they are written with the letter Ain, because look like to me that there is some connection between these words, but of course the meaning of the words is completely different.
Yes.
I don't know
What
if you
is-
understand.
It seems that I understood. What is your assumption? What
my
is
assump-
your assumption? Yes.
There is some aspects. For example, when we look the or with Aleph and the or with Ain, the skin and the lights, we could see, how can I say, some relation with the or and with the for example, we could see the or as a more subtle aspect, more elevated aspect in relation of the skin or something like that. And I just asking about, for example, this Omer, the Omer that Fernando talked about, the counting of Omer, and the Omer when we written with Aleph, and the meaning is to speak or to say. I don't know if you could, how can I say, a relation, to do a relation between the Omer, the counting of the Omer, and the Omer with Aleph. I don't know if you understand me. I just sorry.
Yes. Do you have an assumption? You ask, do you have an assumption? What is the movement between Omer saying and Omer with Ain? What is your assumption?
No, I don't have assumption. I just want to understand if it, because when I see a word written with Ain, I assume that this is more connecting with the material room. And when we reading something with Aleph, I assume that it's related. The meaning is more, how can I say, more subtle.
Unite. Yes.
Yes,
United.
yes. And so if you could speak about this relation to us, I appreciate.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
Sorry,
you're
actually.
welcome. Yes, you're
Thank you very
welcome.
much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question. Yes. The Aleph is unicity, is the one, like the nomenon. So whenever we meet a word that is written with the letter Aleph, it starts from the one, from the source, from the nomenon, and then it moves forward. Let's say in the word Omer, which is saying, so Aleph Mem Resh, so we have Aleph as 1, moves to Mem 40, and moves to Resh 200. So this, it comes from the source, yes, goes through time, and is being received. This is Omer as saying. When Omer, as a bundle of sheaf or connection, it starts with a 70. Ain is 70. So it starts already with a separation. Yes, we have different sheaves. We bundle them together. So we unite them together. And this bundle of single sheaves is called Omer. So it's already being spread. Let's say when we look at the word skin, or. So the skin, a start with Ain as 70, is something that is, the skin is already wrapping something. It's not something, it's basically nothing. It's just a cover. We need to cover something. So it is already manifested in the material realm. Because 70 is a number that reflects the world of the matter, the manifestation. So the Ain, every word or every verb that starts with the letter Ain express a manifestation. A word that starts with Aleph or a verb that starts with Aleph comes from the nomenon, from the source. So those are basically two letters. They sound similar, but the direction is opposite. Is it clear, Rodrigo? Fernanda, would you like to say something about the letter Aleph, the letter Ain?
Yeah, I don't know if it makes sense, but I was remembering Weinreb that speaks
Yes.
that to count is also to count a story or to count numbers.
Yes.
So
Oh.
of course, when we count a story we cover
Mm-hmm.
the hidden, when we are listening to a story, we are trying to find like the universal meaning of it. We like to hear stories, right?
Yes.
So I was connecting these ideas.
It is beautiful because the next question is connected to what you were saying both. So what is the meaning when it's written in Genesis that God made to them kotanot or skin garments? And skin is in Hebrew or kotanot or. What does it mean? Why there is a need to make like skin garments? Yes, to cover the light. Yes, to cover the light. Excellent. There is a beautiful description in Weinreb book about the book of Jonah. And in the story, Jonah moves to Nineveh and he spent the night under the Kikayon. And also comes a worm and beats the Kikayon, and Jonah is upset because the Kikayon or the leaves of the Kikayon protected Jonah from the heat of the sun. And Jonah was so upset that now he has no shadow that can protect him. And Weinreb goes into this speech of Jonah and open it and tries to say that next to the source, he takes the story of Jonah that he cannot stand this heat of the sun or being close to the sun. And we need a protection, the leaf of the Kikayon or any kind of shadow, because we cannot exist under this light. And Weinreb brings this beautiful story why we need skin, got not all. Why do we need, all of us as human, skin garments? Because the skin garment, in a way, protect us from this infinite light. It is again the border or the limitation of the infinite that sustain us. Again. And then we go to Luria's poem, The Tree of Life. The idea of Tzimtzum. Have you heard about the idea of Tzimtzum, of limitation, before? That in order to create, first we need to make space. What does it mean to make space? Who would like to speak about that? Yes? Fernando, hello, hello. Can you hear? Hello? Yes? Yes. So what does it mean? You heard about Tzimtzum. that the first condition to create is to concise or restrict the light. And then we have a space in which life can appear. It's like the story of the scroll of Esther. The only way for the infinite, yes, the infinite, yes, just pulling in a way, so to speak, back, yes, like we pull back and there's a space. Yes, and there's a space and there's like the worlds could be manifested. So it is like in the book or the scroll of Esther, the only way for the infinite to appear here is through the hidden. So the infinite hides itself in a finite garment. Yes, the infinite hides itself in a finite garment. And this is the only way the infinite can appear here. So if we take this idea to the story of Genesis, just because it's the same principle through different stories. So if we take this principle, the only way for the infinite to appear is through finite garment, we move to the story of the garden. Infinite light. Or Ein Sof. Infinite light. Infinite consciousness. So the only way for the infinite consciousness to appear here is through limitation. Why? If it would not limit itself, it will be infinite. And as infinite, it cannot be manifested, seen or appear here, because it's infinite. And our sight is finite. So in order to appear here, the infinite has to dress itself in a finite garment. And a finite garment is what? Kotnot, or skin garment. Yes, it's a placeholder. Yes? The human body, not just the human body, butterflies, everything, is a placeholder for the infinite light to dwell. The dolphin, the bird, the bee. Yes? All those are different forms in which the infinite light is being hosted. Yes? Yes. So in a way, there is no birth and there is no death. Those ideas of birth and death is the idea of man, is a concept of man or of the brain. Because there's appearance and disappearance. Appearance and disappearance. Let's say if we look at the sea, at the oceans, we see waves. There's a wind, there's waves. We can look and there are different waves. We don't give names to the waves usually because we just have this impression of there's a waving going on. Appearance of wave, disappearance of wave. We don't tell the story, or we don't animate the wave and say this wave is being born and this wave is being died, because it touches the shore and then it's flattened also. We don't say those things. We don't say those things. Waves, in Hebrew, galim, in singular, wave is gal. Gal from Gilui, from revelation. So when we look at the waves coming from the sea, we see waves in English, galim in Hebrew, and it is basically a revelation, because there is a what? Is a revelation of form. Before the wind blew at the sea or in the ocean, it was flat. Once there's a bit of blow of wind or a gust of air, so we can see that the air is pushing. We don't see, but this is what is happening. The air is pushing through the waters, and then they are being held up as waves. In English, in Hebrew as galim, gilui, a form of revelation. And then we name and say this is gal, a wave, gilui, from gilui, like revelation or excavation, not excavation, but revelation. Because it is revealed to the eyes. We can track, we can locate, we can see this is wave, because it is being seen. So we do not make a, how do you say, birthday party when we see a wave, and we don't mourn when the wave disappear, because we say this is a wave. But when it happens to animals or to people, and there's attachment, we say this one was born and this one is dying or is passing out. But it's just appearance and disappearance of forms. Because the only sense that the eyes can give us is the linear exposures. The eyes, the human eyes, are the only capability is to see a linear, like in a linear way. Yes? The eyes will never give us a sense of holistic or round experience. The only thing that they can do is give us a linear database. Therefore, we find in the Bible, and God made to them skin garment, kotnot or, with the letter Ein. Yes, and this kotnot or with the letter Ein, not just skin garments, but also the human eye in Hebrew, Ein, is written with Ein, which value is 70. Yes? So the human eye starts with Ein. It is also part of the skin garment, because the human eye can only give us information of what is being exist in a form. Again, skin or, yes, and eye, meaning human eye, Ein, yes, with Ein. The form, skin, that holds inside the human eyes, another Ein. So a form that holds a form. And here you have Egypt. It's a double narrowness. First of all, there's a skin garment to the light. Yes, and what can see the light, which is the human eye, so to speak, is also with 70. Limitation on limitation. Egypt. Because we tend, our eyes gives us the database, the information of what the eye can see, but the eye is limited. The eye can only see linearly, direct, like an arrow. The eye is not capable of seeing round, 360. Therefore, we need the ears. And here comes a beautiful question. Yes. I don't understand the question, Rodrigo. Maybe you can unmute and ask. Can you hear Rodrigo? Can anyone hear?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can. Now we can.
But you mentioned that the eyes, with our eyes, we can see the skin, right? The ore, and limitation to see the limitation, this vessel that it to receive the infinite light. But my question is, how can you see the ore with Aleph, the ore, the light, the infinite light? Because our eyes just can see the skin, right?
Yes.
The appearance, the garment of the light. But how can you see with that our sense, with of our organ can see the light itself? This is my question. How can you see the light beyond the garment, beyond the vessel? This is my question.
Beautiful question. We go back to Leah. Yes? And ve'ene le'arakot, let me write this. Beautiful. Ve'ene, this is the description about Leah's eyes. Ve'ene le'arakot are soft eyes. Rakot, soft. Yes, but we can also write soft, not the sound of rakot is rikot, empty. So let's look at the verse ve'ene le'arakot, because there is a description about Rachel. ורחל יפת מראה ויפת תואר, both. Yes? Upon Rachel, יפת מראה, beautiful form, ויפת תואר, descriptively beautiful. Yes? And the description about Leah, ועיני לאה רכות, and the eyes of Leah are soft. Before we move to Leah, I would like to focus first on the description of Rachel. Rachel is described twice as beautiful form and beautiful to be seen. So she is defined more as an object. Yefat to'ar, v'yifat mar'eh. Yafa is beautiful. Yefat to'ar, beautiful in the description is a figure. V'yifat mar'eh, beautiful to look at. So she is, again, twice is narrowed down to what? To an object. Please pay attention now to the description of Leah. Ve'enei Leah rakot. And the eyes of Leah are soft. Soft. It seems, look at the letters of rakot, soft, it holds the letters of Keter, crown. This is a hint. In Hebrew, we can also, instead of using kaf as rakot, we can use also kof. It's kaf and kof has the same sound. So we can read ve'enei le'ah rakot as hidden form of Keter. She has like crown eyes. What does it mean, crown eyes? Yes? But also we can read it as the eyes of Leah are empty. Yes. What does it mean that the eyes of Leah are empty? That emptiness goes through it. So she doesn't see as subject-object. She is no duality. Do we understand that? Is seeing without looking. Or, as we return to the Zohar article, a beautiful maiden who has no eyes. Yes, do you remember Abigail? Do you remember that? Again, do we understand the conversation Rachel, Leah, and the difference of how the Bible describes them? Excellent. Excellent. Very well, Cindy. Happy to see you here. Again, so we see not just two ladies. This is what it's a populistic way to see it, like two ladies or so. This is Rachel is being perceived as an object. The Bible described her in a form. Beautiful, Yefat Toar, beautifully described, like beautiful form. Yefat Mareh, and beautiful to look at. By writing the sentence in this way, the sentence implies that there are eyes that are watching her. Yes? Do you understand? This is what the Zohar says. When the Bible says, Luria says this also, Verachel, Yefat Toar, V'Yifat Mareh, and Rachel is beautiful, descriptively beautiful, and beautiful to look at. What this sentence is not saying, but it is being said through not saying it, that there's an eye, human eye with ayin, that can perceive this beauty. You say it's a beautiful flower, beautiful to look at. But what can see the beautiful flower? The eye. Ayin, the 70. So, when the Bible says, Verachel Yefat Toar V'Yifat Mareh, descriptively beautiful and beautiful to look at, the Bible says, in a hidden way, that there's a human eye, organ that can seize and evidence this beauty. So in other words, the Bible says there's subject and object, duality. And here we go again to the sense of that Rachel is a tree of knowledge. There's eye, there's organ, and there's a beauty. Yes, the relation between the two, subject, object. But when the Bible describes Leah, Ve'enei Leah rakot, and the eyes of Leah are soft. Soft meaning not hard. This is not hardware, this is not the body, as we said before. It's soft. Rakot holds the letters of Keter. Keter, crown. Crown is infinite, is empty. Also, we can replace the kaf with kof, ve'enei Leah rekot. And the eyes of Leah are empty. Everything moves through it. It's seeing without looking. There is no division of subject, object. It's just emptiness that goes through her. It's not even her, just emptiness goes through. And this emptiness delivers 6 sons. And subject object of Rachel brings 2 in the let's say in the field of her life. She pays for Binyamin in her life. So and now I return to Rodrigo's question. Yes? What is enabling us to see the infinite light? The description of Leah, a maiden who has no eyes or soft eyes or empty eyes. What is empty eyes? Not seeing subject object. There's just seeing without division. Seeing without division, this is infinite. This is the experience of the infinite. Seeing without division. Yes, Cindy, yes. Seeing without division, because the division says that there's me and the world, and there's, yes? subject, object, separation, separate self, separate entity, separate story. But the eyes of Leah are empty, or the eyes of Leah are soft. Soft as opposed to hardware. The human eye can receive or perceive only hardware. Hardware meaning objects. This is a table, this is a chair, this is the division, the hardware. Yes? But the eyes of Leah are soft. Everything can move through there. There's no hardware or emptiness. Everything can move through this emptiness. When we have, this is the beautiful picture that Zohar describes also in the Indian philosophy. It's the same precise expression. Yes, they call it in India empty eyes. Empty eyes. Or in the Zohar language, a maiden who has no eyes. Yes, or in the Bible, Ve'ene Leah rakot, and the eyes of Leah are soft. Yes, Fernando. Yes. Fernando, would you like to speak about that? Yes. 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 It's very beautiful, the line that you wrote, and I see that Rodrigo's writing as well. Yesterday I saw an interview with a very famous actress in Australia. She's a senior actress, and she was invited to participate in a workshop for Australian actors when the teacher was coming from American teacher. And she said that before this workshop, all her life, one question occupied her mind. She's also a fourth generation, according to what she says. This is the narration, that she's a fourth generation of reformers, of actors, and so. And she said that one question occupied her all her life until this workshop. Is she a good actress or not good? Is she acting good or not? Is she excellent or not? And after the workshop, and the teacher that came from America, she said it was a transforming meeting in this workshop. Because the teacher said it's not about being good actress or not, or bad, how you perceive it. He says, you under service, he says to the actress. You are serving high cause. When you act, people can relate to your acting. They come to see themselves in you, in what figure you act on stage, on screen. So you come to serve. And it's not even about you. You are serving higher cause. And she said, as a senior citizen, it transformed her life completely. Because she understood it's not about the career or her name or a reputation. It's about giving service. And it boosted her up completely. It just took the veil from her eyes. She comes to serve. And the best infinite way to put her on such a position was to send her here as an actress. And she can act as a queen mother, and she can act as a drug user, yes? And she can act as a single mom on the street with children. And people are come to watch because they identify with the real feeling that she managed to, because she has, in a way, empty eyes. So everything is moving through her. Whether she is a royal or whether she is a single mom on the street with needles in the arm. And this is what the teacher from America says. You are in a great service. And she said this was completely a transformative event in her life. Because she didn't want to go to this workshop. The theater manager called her and she said, you know what? There's a great workshop coming from America. There's a great teacher. And we're calling you first because if your name will appear as the first register into this workshop, all the others actors will apply too because you're a great name. They appreciate or they give you respect. And if you're going first, like a pilot, the first name, everybody will join. And she said, she was like biting her lip and says, oh, okay, so I will register, I will give my consent. And of course, all the others follow through. And the teacher came and it was a great workshop. And she said it transformed her life completely from one side to the other. And she said it was a great relief because she was relieved from, so to speak, the story of herself. She understood there is nothing like this, the selfing, the story, my career, my reputation, my name, my movies, my books, and so on. Because people who, let's say, when they're great artists, they appear, they write, they dance, they speech teacher, they do a lot. But they always comes the thought it's I am the doer, I'm the writer, I'm the actress, I have this big reputation, and it kills them from the inside. From the outside they play everything, but inside there's a selfing beating up the alley, and it's a torturing thought. And he relieved her, the teacher came and relieved her from this constant battling inside. And she said she's so, how do you say, full of thanks to this teacher. And she didn't want even to participate in this workshop. Or she said, okay, I will help others, so I'll come. But she said it was a transformative because there was this iron metal garment that she was carrying all her life for decades suddenly disappeared, and just emptiness, and I am on service, so everything can happen. This is it. I wanted to share with you, and thank you for your question. Any other question? Fernando, Yanis, Rodrigo, Abigail, Cindy? You can unmute and speak. We are in our best when we are in service or of serving, because there is no self, there is no story, there is no subject object, just emptiness goes through the river, and whatever the river brings, it's excellent. Thank you so much. If you want to unmute, you're most welcome. Please feel free. It's a beautiful day, and I wish you a beautiful year because it's sparkling life. Thank you so much, and greetings to everyone. Thank you for your participation. Yanis, Fernando, Rodrigo, Cindy, Abigail, friends on YouTube. תודה, שלום וחג שמח.